Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of M-Class Podcast.
Oh, we doing that now?
Oh god, yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh, okay, hi.
Hopefully you're recording too.
I am.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Josh.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
That concludes the comedy section.
There's no more comedy in this one.
This whole episode won't be funny from now on. Sorry.
This episode brought to you by Graves.
Graves?
Graves. Like where you put dead bodies.
Like keep digging your own grave? Like we are right now?
Anyway, this is not the last episode of our worst episodes collection, unfortunately.
Nah, this is... we forgot about Voyager.
We forgot about Voyager, and so we thought we only had 2 left, but we actually have 3.
I was like, oh yeah, Voyager. I think because there's so many bad episodes that I was like, oh, whatever. I don't know.
That was like a fail-safe in my brain. My brain was like, forget Voyager.
Yeah, just delete it. It didn't...
Don't watch Threshold.
I was not looking forward to watching the Enterprise episode we picked, though, either. I was like, oh god, this is like one of the worst ones, obviously.
I've got a plan for how we can not watch that and trick everybody into thinking we did. Take this part out when you edit the podcast.
I totally will not, but... we could have done it with this episode, and we could have just watched the Futurama episode that's better than this episode. That's exactly the same episode as this.
It is exactly the same episode.
It's the same episode. There's a lot of things from Futurama where I'm like, oh man, they took that from Star Trek.
This episode, by the way, is the Deep Space Nine episode Profit and Lace from season 6.
Profit as in like money, not like profit like as in Bajoran profit.
Yes.
I was looking up Profit and Lace like Bajoran profit, and I was like, where the fuck is this episode?
It's from the title Profit and Loss, like in monies.
Yeah, in the monies.
This episode sounds like a not real episode. Like it sounds like something somebody makes up.
It's a pitch it or ditch it episode.
It really is. Quark gets a sex change to get Grand Nagus Zek back in the throne.
Apparently, 1998, this was still a thing you could do. I mean, this is like a very tropey, like TV tropey, like bosom buddies-esque.
Yeah, there was an entire television show about it. Bosom buddies.
Yeah, bosom buddies. It
was never funny. It was never funny.
I'm not gonna like pat myself on the back for being a real progressive hipster boy or anything, but I never find these things funny.
No, like I'm not trying to be a progressive hipster boy. I'm trying to be just a general hipster and say that I don't like a popular thing.
It's like I don't like the like to me like the misunderstanding comedy like isn't that funny anyway, because like I think it's like the easiest like trope to do.
It's been
but like
done to death.
It's been beaten the fuck to death.
It's so easy, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're doing a sitcom, you can't touch a lot of the comedy spectrum. You have to be as like safe and like, easily digestible by the public as possible.
Yeah, this episode sucks.
And somehow this type of story where a man pretends to be a woman and becomes the most offensive stereotype of a woman possible is 100% safe for audiences.
Is this less offensive than Star Trek TNG, the one we just did? Is it less offensive?
Code of Honor? I would say so.
I think it is, but like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure to somebody this is way more offensive because I think like where they could have maybe made it like...
Yeah, there could have been a point to this episode.
Yeah, there could have been a point,
but there wasn't.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the whole, like, becoming a woman thing that Quark does goes completely against the point the episode starts out with.
Right. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even remember how this ends. All I can think of is the Futurama episode where Bender at the end gets a sex change, but at the end he's like really sad about like his like love that he lost and shit because he was a woman.
Pretty much happens at the end of this episode where Quark is like talking wistfully about the guy who tried to rape him.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I forgot about. He's the Sluggo Cola guy.
Yes.
The slimiest cola in the galaxy.
It's a great tagline.
That's my favorite part of this whole episode.
Sluggo
is that
Cola?
fucking shit. Yeah.
I love that Sluggo Cola is just like Nickelodeon slime in a jar.
They just drink like just shit, like algae shit.
Ugh.
It's fucking Slurm, dude.
It is Slurm.
They were like Slurm, like a Futurama. We're like, let's just make Sluggo Cola.
Futurama steals so much stuff from Star Trek, but it turns it into a good gag.
Yeah, it works for Futurama because Futurama's funny and it's like a comedy, and it's like a robot, so it's like really funny.
This is
right?
a comedy as well.
That's the problem with Star Trek, is like you can't be like a comedy. Like
this episode was directed by Alexander Siddig, who plays Lieutenant Julian Bashir.
I think at this point he was married to Nana Visitor, I believe.
I think so, yeah. Alexander Siddig, also known as Siddig El Tahir El Fadil El Siddig Abderrahman Mohammed Ahmed Mohammed Abdel Karim El Mahdi.
I think the first name is worse than the second name.
I think the second name is awesome.
The second name rules. I wish I had like 15 names.
He apparently goes by the nickname of Sid.
Really?
Yes, Sid.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
He just went by like Siddig El Tahir.
It's changed
the first
a bunch.
Few seasons.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and being like, this guy's changing his name like crazy right now.
Yeah.
It must have been hell for his like union shit. You gotta change all that shit, dude. I know how that works.
I don't know shit about that, so that's news to me.
You gotta like pay for that shit, man.
It was written by Ira Stephen Bear, so shame on you.
Yeah, and
you normally do a
Hans...
much better job of this shit, you blue-bearded fuck.
Now, here's the thing, though. This is episode 23 of season 6.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. How this episode probably should have been earlier in the show. I know it doesn't work like that. Like, you can't say, like, well, it should have been earlier, because they're not planning out these episodes like that.
No, but it would have fit the characters a lot earlier.
Yeah, it would have been better for that. My point is, don't make 26 episodes in a season.
I mean, this is
because you're gonna get some stinkers.
This is Ira Stephen Bear, who wrote The Nagus, Past Tense Part 1 and 2, Call to Arms, and Duet. Like, he's a good writer, but he's also like a weirdo. Have you ever seen this dude?
Yeah, I've seen his.
Yeah, he's the guy with the blue goatee.
Yeah, that's right. He is weird. He's super weird.
He's a weirdo, but he usually writes good episodes. He did not do that this time. The episode starts out with, like, I guess it's supposed to set up the moral that, like, Quark really has to change and grow throughout the episode, but they start him at probably, like, the lowest point you could possibly start his character, where he's trying to, like, job rape a girl.
He's committing egregious sexual harassment.
Yes.
Like crazy sexual harassment.
He tells one of the Dabo girls that if she doesn't learn how to rub fuck his ears...
Umox.
Then she's fired.
Which is, in, like, our country, it's super illegal, but maybe in space, in wherever they are, it's like they don't have rules about that?
Maybe on Ferenginar it's fine, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Women can't work on Ferenginar, so you can't get that workplace naughty.
Well, not until this episode. Now they can.
Yeah, which is supposed to be the point of the episode, right? That, like, women can do just, like, anything that men can do.
It's like the 50s, 60s, maybe 70s, like the women's lib. Like, Ferengi's going through their, like, women's lib movement.
Yeah, which is good. Yes. Women get to wear clothes.
Because Ferenginar is fucking fucked up.
Yes, it is. God damn, who would ever want to live there?
I read an article today. So, like, today, it's going to date this or whatever, but today they just announced Star Trek Online is the new expansion is going to be Deep Space Nine and the Gamma Quadrant. And so I was reading an article with Armin Shimmerman talking about Quark and how, like, early on, I guess this will be my fun fact. Early on in the show, like when he was in TNG, he was one of the first Ferengi.
I read this article, actually.
Did you do it?
Yeah,
Did you read it?
I read this exact article.
That's cool. Yeah, he was saying how, like, the Ferengi were supposed to be, like, the Klingons, and, like, they're supposed to be scary, but they turned into this, like, just shitty fucking race of people who just were, like, awful and, like, sucky and, like, real sexist and, like,
yeah. And Armin
greedy.
Shimmerman kind of blamed himself for that, which I think is way wrong.
Yeah, he, like, hated it. Like, he wouldn't talk about it and shit. Like, he, like, didn't want to talk about it for years. And then how he got, like, the role of Quark and shit, and how, like, he didn't want to play it like that anymore. And they wanted him to kind of play that, but he, like, made the character, like, more rounded and, like, a person, right? Like, a good character.
Oh, yeah. He wanted the character to be more three-dimensional.
Yeah. So, but this episode, like, kind of sets Quark back, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's really... There's one thing about a guy who only cares about money. Like,
right.
We've all, you know... seen A Christmas Story. We've all seen the Ebenezer Scrooge learn the meaning of Christmas, and his heart grew 3 sizes, whatever.
I thought you meant, like, The Christmas Story, like, with Ralphie.
Yeah, we've seen that one, where the kid gets his tongue stuck to the pole. We learn the lessons of greed. But this is a whole other level where Quark is using his position of power to force a girl to have sex with him.
Yeah, it's real scummy.
It's difficult to, like... look back on 6 previous seasons of him becoming a 3-dimensional character, and not see some of that undone a little bit by him being a rapist.
Yeah, I guess, like, it makes sense, though, in terms of, like, what we're seeing now politically, I guess, because, like, we're seeing, like, what greed and being wealthy, like, does to people.
It turns you into that guy.
Turns you into a monster. Like, you're a fucking monster. So, but, like, Quark isn't really that bad, but now all of a sudden he's just completely shitty.
Yeah, like
for like whatever reason.
His character for the purposes of the story, which is not a good story to begin with.
Right. It's not worth it, right? Like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze on this one.
Like Umox is weird. It's like a weird gray area.
Right, because it's not like really sex, right?
No, it's not even like you could have like an Umox orgasm or whatever, so it is sex, but it's not like they still have wieners, I guess.
Do they have 2 wieners? I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out on the next season of Star Trek Discovery.
I set you up. I alley-ooped that one right to you. I was like, check this out. Watch this.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
That's what it's all about. It's about family and teamwork.
Yes.
So the Nagus shows up on Deep Space Nine.
Quark!
Exactly, that's him. He's on the podcast.
Inconceivable! I can't do a good
Oh, you can do a good Quark.
Inconceivable! That's a little better.
He shows up with Moogie.
Yeah.
Ishka. And we find out that, like, he's like, they do the good news, bad news bit, which isn't a bad bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
The good news is bad news, and the bad news is worse news.
It's worse news, yeah. It's pretty good. Classic.
It turns out Zek has been deposed, and fucking Brunt, FCA,
man. FCA
has become fucking Grand Nagus. Like, how do you go from being a regular, like a liquidator is like an IRS agent, to being the president?
He's hustling, man. He's
for
hustling.
Sure. He worked those.
They just
angles.
liked Brunt. They really liked what's his name? The guy who plays Brunt, who I can't think of his name right now.
Fuck. Oh no.
I
love
open.
him too. Is the thing.
Oh my god! I can't believe I can't think of his name.
Fuck! I'm smart. Jeffrey Combs.
Get Jeffrey Combs. They like Jeffrey Combs, and they were just like,
and
just have it be Brunt. Yeah, he's great. Just have it be Brunt. And Jeffrey Combs is probably like, I'm really tired of playing Wayoon, so can I play like the other guy?
Can I just be somebody else for a little bit?
Yeah, I just want to be Brunt.
Just get Iggy Pop to play Wayoon.
Dude, what's his name? He's in the game. Shit.
Is
my
he?
god.
Does Iggy Pop voice him?
No, he's like he's like an officer that you get to like do chores for you. He doesn't talk.
I don't remember.
It's like shit. Oh fuck. What is it?
Shit oh fuck.
I'm like,
what's his name?
Shit oh fuck.
But they turn Quark's quarters into the headquarters of Zek's campaign, and they do like campaign cold calls.
It's so funny when they're like, the Grand Nagus wishes to speak to you.
Well, that's not very nice to call the Grand Nagus.
Brother.
I love Rom. Rom is such a good character. That's the thing, is like too. Rom is still funny in this.
Yeah, Rom's always great.
But like no one else is. Everything else in the episode falls flat. Everybody just keeps saying mean shit to him and hanging up on them.
Yeah. They're like, no way. Like, they're like, I'm not doing that shit.
Fucking... it's a good bit. It really is. And it sticks out in this episode because everything around it's kind of lame. The episode itself is kind of a standard filler episode until about the halfway point.
This is the episode that you air before the arc of the end of the season where shit happens. So think about... So it's like... Here's how I always think of this episode. Like, Jadzia dies, like, in like 2 episodes,
Spoilers!
Right? So, whoops, sorry. She dies. So they were like, well, let's put a really funny episode here. Like, I could just hear them being like, well, we like to have like a real funny one before like the serious shit starts happening. And it's like,
you know, In the Pale Moonlight is like 6 episodes before this.
Yeah, I know. It's like the best episode of any Star Trek, and this is like one of the worst.
It is on the list.
But like, I don't know. I guess like, compared to like the one we just watched and the one we have to watch and talk about later,
this is half of an okay episode, and then it becomes a shit episode. The others are all shit the whole way through.
Yeah,
especially Threshold.
Yeah,
there's nothing redeeming in that episode.
We'll talk about that.
Yes,
we'll talk about that.
We'll get to that later. But the whole plan is falling apart. But it turns out they can get one FCA commissioner to come. The chairman of Sluggo Cola.
Oh, the slimiest cola in the galaxy.
God, that is a catchy tagline. It's no wonder they haven't changed it in 300 years.
I like when that's right. I like when they say it and they all say it different, and it's like real, like it's real like Arrested Development, where like they all do the different chicken sound. I'm always like, it's like super funny to me. I don't know.
The plan is that they're just gonna get Nilva, the chairman of Sluggo Cola, to fucking vouch for them, I guess.
Yeah, like he's so powerful. Like, so Sluggo Cola is like Coke, right? So like, it's like a super corporation.
Yeah.
So I guess like with his backing, like that'll be enough to like maybe get the Nagis's job back or whatever the fuck, however that works.
That's like, it's like a last ditch effort that they play off at the end of the episode, like he's already back on the throne.
Yeah.
But whatever. Brunt shows up.
Oh god.
Brunt played by Jeffrey Combs, who everybody knows as the guy from that Turbo Motorcycle movie. He also plays a lot of roles in Star Trek.
He's everybody.
But he loved playing Brunt. I remember that specifically. Like, he liked playing Wayoon, but he loved playing Brunt.
Yeah, he also plays a Brunt. Basically, he plays Brunt again in Enterprise.
Does he?
Like, he plays a Ferengi that's kind of like a shy Brunt. Like, not an evil Brunt.
I know, Clint Howard plays a Ferengi.
Yeah, he's in that same episode, and he is a Ferengi. So like, I don't know if they even had to put makeup on him. Like, they were just like, oh, let's get Clint Howard. He just is a Ferengi.
Clint Howard has been in every Star Trek series, including the original series.
Dude, yeah, he's the baby, right? He's that weird ass baby
who looks exactly like Clint Howard does now.
Is that the First Federation? Is that shit?
Yeah, the First Federation.
Yeah.
Well, they have a different name, but I don't fucking remember it.
In the game, they're still the First Federation, but you can't go to them. They're blocked off.
That's good, because they're just weird baby people. You don't.
They're just like, we don't need that. Yeah.
Brent does this little bit of business that's like, you're supposed to just hate him, and they do a really great job where he like orders a drink and then he's like, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need that drink.
Bring me another drink. Wait, no. Give me a Sluggo Cola.
A Sluggo Cola.
I would never want to drink that shit. It just looks like ground up slugs.
Well, they eat snails.
Which is what it is, for sure.
It's just, they just eat snails, right?
Ugh. Tube grubs. Ugh.
His name in the Enterprise episode is Creme.
Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme.
It just reminds me of that fucking Key and Peele joke about like the college football player names.
Oh,
like, we got the creme de la creme here today, and then let's introduce them. Like,
Notre Dame University.
Creme de la creme, Notre Dame.
X-wing pilot.
X-wing
that shit's still funny.
Aloysiousness. Hingle McCringleberry.
Hingle McCringleberry. That was a Luke special. Luke would always talk about Hingle McCringleberry.
Fuck, dude. I still want to go to like fucking the coffee place, like Starbucks, and just give them all the names from that when they ask what my name is. Every time I go.
They turned that shit around though. Like they got smart a couple years ago and they started writing like whatever they wanted on the cup.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that shit? And they were like, people were like, "What is going on?" Because people were like, "I'm sick of this shit."
No, I don't remember that at all. Like I don't go to Starbucks very often.
Yeah, I haven't been to one in a while. I used to work at one, so
when I went to my last convention in Lexington, my wife was with me and we were about to order, and they were like name, and she just like jumped in front of me and went Jeff. Because she knew what I was about to do.
You were gonna be like
McCringleberry. Anyway,
Hingle.
That's neither here or there. It's just this whole scene's supposed to show that Brunt is like a step ahead of them. I don't know how people keep hearing, like how word gets from them to Brunt, but he knows everything that's happening before.
He's always. It's his job. He says it's my job to know.
I guess
it's the whole like I've got listeners everywhere, right?
Yeah. He's like the IRS for real.
Yeah, but then it kind of doesn't make sense later because like he doesn't know that like Quark is like had a sex change.
Yeah, he doesn't know
like you would think that would be like a thing you'd hear about. Like, hey, did you hear Quark had a sex change? Oh, what?
That would be through the grapevine. I think people would be mentioning it at least.
Yeah, that would be like a secret that would be hard to keep, I would think.
Yeah. We get this, like, straight dysfunctional family scene right after this where, like...
Yeah.
Moogie is like, you're a fucking horrible disappointment of a son.
Yeah.
And Quark's like, yeah, well, you're an old wrinkly bitch. You know, they're just, like, yelling at each other.
Because they hate each other.
And...
Sorta.
Then Moogie has, like, a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, she fucking has, like, a stroke.
Bashir shows up. Alexander Siddig steps out from behind the camera. And he's like, yeah, she had a heart attack and needed a new heart, so we just gave her one.
Yeah, we just gave her one.
Because it's the future, baby.
Fuck it. Yeah, whatever.
We can replace your brain. Who cares?
Yeah, we gave Worf a spine once. That's, like, super hard, and we did it.
This is like a filler scene, right? Where, like... Yeah. There's the end of this scene and the beginning of the next scene are both filler scenes because they just talk about the scene where they yelled at each other for like a scene and a half.
Yeah, I guess they have to hit home that it's like Quark's fault, I guess.
It like annoyed the shit out of me because like, all right, we get it. He yelled at her, like she had a heart attack. They have to figure out a way to do something now. And then they go
they have to convince him.
And they have to convince conversation.
Him. Yeah. Like, I think they probably wanted it to feel like he, like it was his fault, but also, like, he needed convincing to do this, right? Because, like...
Yeah, but they don't bring up the sex change thing until the end of the second scene.
Okay, I don't remember.
So it's just like, he yelled at her and she had a heart attack for a scene and a half. It really annoyed the fuck out of me, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you gotta fill 42 minutes, Jeff.
Jesus, make a better episode. How about that?
Yeah, this one probably get rid of this one. Maybe we only have 25 episodes this season.
Maybe.
We don't need this one.
We gotta get that advertising money. McDonald's expects 26 episodes, sir.
They need that. They need that time.
And so they decide that Quark needs to get a sex change.
Sure.
And Bashir is up for this. He's like, all right, so he doesn't do any of the stuff that like they do now where they give you like they like evaluate whether it's something you actually want or not.
Yeah, they make you go to like therapy and stuff.
Yeah,
well, at least
at least
like
a lifetime thing.
Yeah,
now,
this isn't.
But it's not. They can like reverse it super easy
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah. So like in Star Trek, I guess like in a way, I guess it's like super progressive in that like who cares, right? Like whatever.
And I mean, it's like you can if you change your mind later, you can reverse it. I guess.
Yeah, just change it back.
But like that's not something people normally do. Like get their sex changed so that they can trick somebody. I feel like Bashir should have put his foot down and been like, "Nah, we're not doing."
Yeah, that might be unethical. Like that's where the unethical part comes in. Yeah.
This surgery is for people who feel they were born in the wrong body, sir. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not for you to get fucking latinum.
Yeah, these are for like real people who like really want it and need it. This isn't for like.
This isn't like for a scam.
For your quark shit.
Do you remember when every sitcom and television show was just people pulling scams on each other?
Yeah, it was just like how like what's like the next scam, and like I think like Always Sunny like took it to the point where like you can't go back to that anymore because It's Always Sunny is just them being complete idiots and shit.
Like the dial to 11.
It's a hyper scam, right? Where they're just morons.
Oh, for sure. I think about all those fucking like Saved by the Bell and shows like that where it's just teenagers scamming each other.
Dude, they got a lot of time on their hands.
I guess.
I wasn't trying to scam people in high school. I was trying to fuck people in high school.
They do that in Saved by the Bell too, but they don't say it out loud.
I spent all my energy trying to like see boobs and like touch a butt. I didn't have time to like think of elaborate scams to like.
I guess you were no Zach Morris, sir.
I didn't have a phone like him, that's for sure.
Man, you would have gotten all of the ladies. You wouldn't have had to have put so much effort into seeing.
I was prom king. I didn't need to do all that much.
Did you see a butt?
I saw some butts.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying. What is a scam for? What are you scamming?
I don't know.
What are you scamming?
It was to see butts, I think, most of the time.
What are the I don't like what's a scam though, like in Saved by the Bell that they would do that wasn't about seeing a butt?
I don't know. They would like crash like get a car to go on a date, like they would steal a car.
Oh, right.
And crash it and
yeah, I guess everybody was trying to just like see a butt, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of
they were all just trying to see a butt.
Yeah.
Just like later on somebody tries to see Quark's butt.
Yeah, his hot new female butt.
But anyway, they try and teach him how to be a lady, and he is just the worst fucking stereotype of a lady that's ever existed. Like, he just gets whiny.
He talks like this, and he's real emotional.
And it's like he snaps at people, and like is almost crying at all times, and he like tries to use his feminine wiles to get out of doing work. It's just so fucked up.
But I guess that makes sense, though, like, because Quark's shitty. He would still just be shitty, right?
Yeah, but it's not like he's not doing it on purpose because that's how he sees women. It's like his emotions have taken him over because he is a woman.
Did they say like he's gonna be emotional because like his hormones and shit are all wacky, or did they
say that when they put him like switch his gender back?
Yeah, so they don't say like you're gonna be like on a roller coaster like. Yeah, I think it looks bad.
Yeah, I think even if you even if there was a legitimate reason for him to be acting like that in the show, you know why they wrote it that way.
Right, right, exactly. Like that is a real thing that like people go through. Like if your hormones change, like you get in bad moods and shit. Like men do it too. But yeah, they wrote it just like. They were just like, it'll be funny.
It'll be funny that he has to act like a woman.
He's a woman. Yeah, he's a woman. Get it?
It goes on forever, and it just feels like it's never going to end, and I just
That's the theme with these. That's the theme with these episodes this week, dude.
And they're like, all right, well, you've got until tomorrow at least, so you can stop lumbering. Lumba. Get it?
Lumba, that's right. Oh, God, I forgot. I fell asleep at this point. I'm just going to full disclosure. I fell asleep halfway through this episode.
He's seen it a bunch of times before.
I've seen it like probably 5 times, but like I forgot about the Lumba because he can't walk in the shoes because he's a dummy.
He doesn't know. Lumba. So the chairman of Sluggo Cola shows up and he's like, "Hey, Nog, here's a Sluggo Cola."
And he's like, "Thanks."
And Nog's like, "Oh, the slimiest slug
cola in the galaxy."
Whatever. I haven't heard it for 300 years, so I don't remember it. But he just like starts walking in a direction. I feel like Nog should have just let him just walk in a direction forever. But Brunt shows up because he's like, "Hey, remember, I'm in this episode.
I'm the bad guy now.
I'm the bad guy in this episode. Remember me?
I gotta do bad guy stuff.
I'm not trying
to
rape anybody, but I'm the bad guy." And Brunt's like, "Lumba, who's that? I didn't hear anything about that shit."
Yeah, no grapevine told me about this. Who's this?
But
and she's wearing clothes, and like Ferengi don't wear clothes.
Yeah,
women don't wear clothes, so it makes her super attractive, which I think is a good bit, because like it's like forbidden that like women wear clothes, so it's like makes them like really alluring to the men.
But like he's straight up trying to like force himself on.
Oh no, that's like super not like. Yeah. There's a difference between being like, yo, I like when a woman wears clothes, and being like, I'm gonna try to just have sex with this person forcibly.
Yeah,
like
there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, oh yeah. And this guy's just like, Lumba, huh? Well, my dick's gonna be in that one way or another, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Holy fuck, Sluggo, calm down.
Well, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the chairman of Coca-Cola is the same way.
Probably.
Drink Coke, everybody. They're our sponsor today.
Speaking of sponsors, let's take a break.
We'll take a break. Hopefully this isn't a Coca-Cola commercial.
No, it'll be Sluggo.
We'll be back after these messages.
Looks like he used some kind of encryption program to bypass the access protocols.
Unbelievable. The nerve.
Major, you wanted to see me.
Now don't pretend you don't know what this is about.
Oh, well, maybe this'll jog your memory. Engage monitor.
Come to Quark's. Quark's is fun. Come right now. Don't look. Run! Oh, I love the part where my name rotates around.
Tampering with the station's comm system is a Class 3 offense.
It's just a little advertisement. I didn't post one in Ops.
I'm sure the magistrate will take that into consideration when he calculates your fine. You!
As you can see, we're very busy here. Station business.
How did you do it?
Do what?
I ordered a glass of prune juice from the replicator in the Defiance mess. This is what it came in.
Come to Quark's. Quark's is fun.
If all your little advertisements aren't purged from our systems by the time I get back from the Gamma Quadrant, I will come to Quark's, and believe me, I will have fun.
Let me help you with that, Chief.
And we're back. Hopefully you bought that delicious or well-made product.
I did.
Good.
I did it.
When we last left our heroes, I guess, Nilva, the chairman of Sluggo Cola, had arrived, and he had talked to Brunt about Lumba.
Yeah, he's into her.
And so they they meet, and he's like all about her. And fucking Quark is like 100% perfectly selling the idea of females having clothes and getting jobs and shit, because it makes sense.
Yeah, because it's like right.
It's like really hard to argue with something that's just 100% makes sense. So
yeah, I love like earlier in the episode, like the Zek cynical method is like, well, they represent 53% of the market, so let's make more money.
Exactly,
you know?
It makes
like,
sense.
We'll just get more taxes and shit.
And Lumba is like, yo, Sluggo Cola hasn't been doing so good lately if you market to females.
Yeah, and it's like a slender version or whatever, some fucking bullshit.
And, yeah, it's like watch your figure with Sluggo Cola or whatever.
It's like the quiet potato chip that they tried to market like a couple weeks ago.
Fucking stupid shit.
For women, it's got to be quiet. Don't make noise when you eat.
Don't be a noisy woman. That's not right.
Nobody wants to hear your woman chewing.
Fucking stupid. stupid.
Know your place, women. This is not me saying this. This is the Potato Chip Company.
Is this something you said, or is this from something else?
This is not me. I'm not saying this.
So the chairman.
I'm saying it sarcastically.
The chairman of Sluggo Cola wants to fuck Quark.
Yes, hard.
And he's like, Lumba, come to my quarters. And Quark is like, I mean, I don't really wanna. And he's like, no, but I'm a rapist.
You have to.
You have to. And so, like, Quark ends up in his quarters, and, like, he chases her around like he's a fucking, like, crazy lunatic rapist, but it's for comedy, right? Like,
yeah,
you're supposed
it's funny.
to laugh. It's
funny, especially, like, if you're a woman and you have to been in that situation.
Yeah.
Probably really funny.
It's hilarious. Like, this part of the episode, I was just, like, sitting there like, can this end? How much longer is it?
It goes on. It goes on because it's so uncomfortable, I think, and you're just like, jeez, like, because, like, because, again, like, what's gonna happen, right? Like, we've all seen this. We all know.
Yeah. Fucking, like, Brunt comes in and he, like, dead names Quark, and fucking...
Yeah.
That's a term I know, everybody. I'm progressive.
Dead names.
He's just being a dick. He's, like, being an internet commenter. Like, that's a man!
Yeah, I can tell. That's a guy named Quark.
And Lumba, like, whips out the tits.
Yeah, he strips her, doesn't he? Doesn't he say, like...
Does. He doesn't, like...
Quark does.
Lumba herself pulls her thing open.
Right, to show. And he's like, well, that's, like... Doesn't he say, like, that's... You can fake that?
He's like, no, that's... I don't know how, but that's a man. And Quark's like, nah, check this shit out.
And he shows his weird Ferengi puss.
Yeah, who knows what type of vagina Ferengis have.
I would assume it has the same... I would assume it has the same teeth that the mouth does, honestly.
Oh, no! No wonder they prefer Umox.
Sluggo Cola.
That's what it says. Feed me Sluggo Cola.
Feed me the Sluggo Cola. It's like a thing from Ghostbusters.
Oh my god. But he's like, the chairman of Sluggo Cola is like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever Lumba says, because that's what Lumba wants. And Brunt's
I love Lumba.
Brunt's like, but that's Quark!
Yeah, and it really is, but is it, though?
And then, like, at the fucking end of the episode, Quark is, like, about to cry because he still has lady parts in him, right? Like, he still has lady experience.
The aftershocks, the tremors of being a woman have shaken him.
And Odo is super uncomfortable. Even though he has no gender, Odo is super uncomfortable with all this gender switching.
Yeah, of course he is. You gotta have the one guy. It has to be a guy, and they have to be like, I don't know about this.
And fucking, like, Odo doesn't want to hug Quark, but does. But, like, Morn sees him and he stops.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Morn, what's Morn gonna do?
Yeah, he's not gonna tell anybody.
Morn's great. Morn's a fucking dope dude, man. He doesn't care.
He'd probably give a thumbs up, be like, yeah, be friends.
Yeah, great work. Yeah.
But, you know, they all say goodbye and they act like now Zek is gonna be back on the throne.
Yeah.
And
which I guess he is then, right?
He does. I don't know one person. I don't know how many people are on the committee, but one guy changes all of it, I guess.
Sluggo Cola dude I guess it's like the theme. Maybe I'm looking too far into this. But I guess the theme is like, like it starts small, right? Like the big changes need to start with like one person. Like that's a Star Trek theme, right?
It is, but I think you are maybe looking too.
I am totally.
So the episode gets wrapped up in a bow when the Dabo girl comes back and she's like, hey, I studied the book about Umox.
Yeah.
And Quark's like, no, it was wrong of me to do that. And she's
I shouldn't have said that, yeah.
She's like, oh, that's sad because being raped sound like fun. And
being sexually harassed is totally my thing.
Yeah.
I get horny thinking about it.
Quark is like, wait, no, I changed my mind.
I love Umox.
I want to sexually harass you horribly. Come back. Although she's into it, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like, what's the rule? I mean, it's still illegal. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you still can't do it, right? Like, you can't... Even if, like, the person you're sexually harassing, like, really likes it, like, you could get fired for that shit. Like,
yeah.
You can't do that shit.
I do have a fun fact of the week on this episode. The original idea for the episode came from Renee. Renee Echevarria.
Who the fuck is that?
It's a writer who wrote like the final episode of Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And he wrote like several episodes of TNG, like a lot of episodes of TNG and Deep Space Nine, like combined like 40 some episodes.
That's a lot.
And he was just like, yeah, we wanted to do a feminist episode about like Moogie and Ferengi people like finally having their feminist movement and everything.
Yeah.
And he said, I just feel like Quark needs to end up in a dress. I don't know why, but Quark and Rom have to masquerade as women.
Bosom buddies.
He had to bosom buddies.
They needed to do it.
That's the fun fact, is that a writer who wrote 40-some fucking episodes of Star Trek still thought that bosom buddies was a good idea for Star Trek.
There's some really funny lines in this episode. In the beginning, when they're freaking out about because they can't get a hold of Zek, right, and Moogie.
Yeah.
So they think like Ferenginar has been taken over by the Dominion, and and one of them, I think it's Quark or somebody, is like, think of all the terrible repercussions for the Alpha Quadrant, and Worf goes, I cannot think of any.
Dude, there's a great line as well where they're like freaking out during that, and fucking damn it, I'm forgetting names all over the goddamn place now because I'm dumb. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm too dumb for the world.
Brunt? You thinking of Brunt?
No, it's when they announced that like there's a Ferengi ship coming.
Oh yeah.
Kira does. And
Kira.
Kira announces there's a Ferengi ship coming, and Rom goes, "They're alive!
They're alive!"
He looks at Sisko and goes, "Good work."
It's like mystery solved.
I fucking love that. Like I said, dude, the episode starts out fairly strong, gets super weak, and then becomes like offensive at a certain point.
Well, it's strong when like the whole crew is there, right? Because there's enough like to work with and to like have different like Sisko's like the dad, and Worf is funny in his Worf way, and Kira's just Kira. Yeah, but then it becomes...
I was discussing this with somebody the other day. Like, Worf is absolutely the best straight man that Star Trek
fucking
ever
hilarious.
Had.
Dude, the part in that fucking terrible movie, Insurrection, when they're flying and they're singing, and he just shakes his head like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, that's great. Like, that's fucking great. It's great.
Like, Michael Dorn is a excellent straight man to everybody. No matter how straight man the other person is, he's more straight man.
He's super straight man.
And he works perfectly that way. Like, his most famous line, like, I object, I am not a merry man.
Yeah, I am not a merry man. Yeah.
It's delivered like 100% flat, but it's perfect.
Kills it. He fucking kills it. But then, yeah, like you said, then the episode is like, well, now it's just like the Ferengi, and like the Ferengi are kind of like one note, even though like there's really good characters, but like
there's fun to have with the Ferengi, but it's like mindless fun. There's no substance to it for the most part.
Right, it's like Little Green Men, where you're like, oh, this is just goofy as fuck.
Yeah, or like the fucking Seven Samurai knockoff, the Magnificent Ferengi.
The one with Iggy Pop. His name's Yelgrin. I looked it up.
Okay, I never would have remembered that, but
I love it when Iggy Pop is like, well, I hope they come through or you're gonna die. Like, he says it all Iggy Pop, and they're like, holy shit.
A big Star Trek fan. He was really excited to be in Star Trek.
I love that.
Anytime somebody's a big fan of Star Trek and gets to be in it is like my favorite shit.
Yeah, it's great. It's great when they like sell it too. Like Iggy Pop's, he's really good as an actor for whatever reason. Like, I don't know.
I just remember him mostly from The Crow.
The Crow? I remember him from Pete and Pete.
Oh yeah, he was good in Pete and Pete.
He's Mona's dad. It's me, Iggy Pop.
It's a good impression.
I used to cut myself with glass bottles.
He seems so like easygoing and shit, but he's crazy man apparently.
Yeah, it's gotta be a little bit crazy.
The same thing with Whoopi Goldberg. That's how she became like Guy.
Yeah.
She was just a massive fucking fan of Star Trek and just called up and was like, "Hey, can I be in Star Trek?"
And it works too. And like, they found a reason. They found like a whole thing for her to be, and it works. It's great.
I want to do that. I want to call and be like, "Hey, can I be in Star Trek?"
I would love to be just like in the game. Just put me in the game.
Yeah, I would love to be in anything. Like fucking, I don't even know. Fuck it. Like, give me a voiceover part.
Dude, I'll be a Ferengi. I'll just be like a weird Ferengi dude and just make him do a voice. I don't care.
Sure. Give me like a voiceover part in like a book on tape for Star Trek. I don't even care.
Yeah. I would love to do it. There's a cosplayer who's in the game. They made her like the tailor in one of the stations.
Oh yeah?
Which is really cool. I guess she like dressed up at some con as like I forget who she was, but some Star Trek Online thing, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to be in the game?" And she was like, "Sure."
Oh my god! Like I would poop pants instantly.
I know. I was like, "Fuck, man! I want to do that shit."
If they came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be in the game?" I'd be like,
"I'll do it for fucking free, dude. Like, I don't give a shit.
Put me in the game.
Like, yes."
Fuck, I just want to be involved with Star Trek. I'll be Tim Russ. I'll be in your Star Trek fan film.
For a ham sandwich.
For a ham sandwich.
I'll do it for a ham sandwich. I'm Tim Russ.
It's on his website. It's
Tim's agent is like, Mr. Russ requires 1 slice of ham per 2 slices of cheese.
His website is www.I'llDoItForAHamSandwich.com. So
that should be our website.
We don't even have a website. I'm shit. I need to do that. I need to get us a website.
I'm shit. Man, this episode
website at a certain point.
This episode sucks, but it's like couched around like other good episodes, so like it's like forgivable to me.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not as bad as some of the other ones for sure.
It's really not good, but like
it's
I don't know.
It's worse than the TOS one, Spock's brain.
Yeah, no, yeah, yes, but like I think you can like give TOS a lot of leeway too, right? Like I think TOS gets a lot of like, well, you know, it's the 60s.
I mean, I feel like that's fair in a lot of instances, but
yeah, I don't know.
Not when it comes to like just bad writing. So,
yeah, no.
So I judge it on like an even playing field with the others. Like when it comes to writing, like when it comes to cultural sensitivity, I'm not gonna like be like, well,
it
wasn't as uplifting as TNG on cultural issues.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's okay that they hated women because it was the 60s, because like that's worse. Like that's absolutely the worst thing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna be on that. Like
they should have known better.
It was pretty equal, actually. Like, Prophet and Lace and Spock's brain are probably pretty equal on the shittiness scale.
Yeah.
Well, at least when it comes to offensive shittiness.
Yeah, that's the thing about these really bad episodes, is like, we've had 2 in a row now where there's like, just like some super offensive shit in them, and you're like, why? Like,
yeah, why is this in Star Trek?
Why did we do this? And like, I get that like, it was different, and like, if we weren't quite as woke, you know what I mean? Like, that's what the kids say or whatever. But, like, I just still, it's like, I think coupled with, like, the bad writing of, like, the bosom buddy trope, it's like, all right, like, I'm done with this episode. Like, I don't know.
Like, I chose this episode to be the worst in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, and it's probably the worst one. Like, I can't really think of a...
Yeah, I was going to challenge you to pick a different one.
Yeah, I don't think I can. And, like, maybe one of the episodes from, like, season 1 that kind of doesn't matter. But, like, those aren't bad. They're just not as good as the good ones.
Put forth the one with, like, the game.
Oh, the Gamble Ball?
No, not that.
Oh, when they go inside the game. Yeah,
the first season where they have to like skip away Al Moraine or whatever.
Yeah,
a lot of people put that forward as their worst Deep Space Nine episode, and it's like brainless. The episode is.
That's what I mean. It's just sort of like, well, this was a thing, but it's not
TOS
like
episode, but it's like a bad TOS episode.
Yeah, it's not. I guess you have to pick this one because it does have that sort of insensitive bullshit going on in it.
And it's also just poorly written on top of it.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of things not going for it. It's poorly written, and not everyone is in it. So like, you're stuck with like these characters that like are great together, and they're great actors playing them, but they're doing sort of an unnatural thing for their character, like each one of them, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, I don't think anybody is 100% in character in this episode.
No. Like, Nog's like a moron.
Yeah, like
he's like a child,
an idiot for some reason. And like Zek is like this like really put upon grandpa for like
he's like a real old dude. Yeah,
which is like really strange. The next episode we're gonna do is Voyager's season fucking I don't even know.
Season 2, episode 15.
Season 2, episode 15, Threshold, which is
I think it's 15.
Completely fucking brainless.
Yo, I ain't even gonna lie. I watched it and I was like, "Oh my god, this episode's almost over," and I was like, "Nothing happened."
Yeah.
I was like, nothing happened in this episode.
That's the thing is like, there's no moral, there's no like crazy scientific discovery or whatever that makes any sense. Nothing leads to the. We're getting into the next episode.
Yeah, we gotta.
I will say, do we have any like information we want to pass along to the listeners this time? Anything you want to talk about, like your streams or anything?
Oh yeah. I guess, yeah. I stream on the Continue Twitch. I think it's twitch.tv/continue show. I do that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, typically, at like 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, maybe 5. You can go on to the Patreon of Continue and help us out there if you want. That's it.
By the time this comes out, I'll be streaming as well.
Yeah.
I'll be streaming art streams and some video games on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Jeff_Pennington, I believe.
Fucking follow him, motherfucks.
I'll be streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8.
Sunday fun day.
So it'll be
8
a good
Eastern.
time for everybody.
You have to say Eastern. They don't know.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. And,
or whatever it is now.
By the time this episode comes out as well, we will have 2 new shirts available.
Oh, shit.
Which are Trek Boys shirts.
Trek Boys!
Trek Boys! Finally, the Trek Boys shirt of your dreams is available in 2 separate styles.
You too can be a Trek boy or girl.
You have to be a Trek boy. Because it's all the shirts.
We're the Trek boys.
That's true. It does have our faces on it as well.
Yeah.
So,
but a Trek girl can wear, or a Trek lady can wear it.
A Trekette.
A Trekette.
That's
like super 80s.
It
like
really is.
Dudette. I always think of like Dudette.
You Trekette.
Hey, Dudette.
But you'll be able to pick up a shirt. Hopefully sooner or later we'll have the Patreon up and running. We're probably going to be moving the polls for what our next collections are going to be
over there
to the Patreon.
That makes sense. Well, we could post them like as like what they are on the Twitter, but you won't be able to vote.
Yeah, and the reason we're doing that is because you guys made us do the bad episodes collection. So.
Yeah, I'm really butthurt that I had to sit through these shitty episodes. I just want to watch some good fucking Star Trek.
You fucking monsters.
Now I gotta watch fucking Threshold like a moron.
Jesus Christ. Like, we had to voluntarily watch Threshold because of you people.
We forgot about it, and we that's how bad it was. We just
almost didn't have to.
It.
We almost skipped it.
That would have been funny. We should have just skipped it and been like, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe that'll still happen with something, folks. Stay tuned. I think this is like, we're at like maybe 45 minutes, so I think it's probably a good time to say goodbye to this fucking terrible episode.
Yeah, that's what sucks about these episodes, though, is like, they're so bad that like there's not really a lot to say about some of them, and this one sort of just is of that nature where you're like, well, I kind of said everything, so
to like pull the curtain back and show Old Man Oz pulling the switches a little bit. Like, I always have Memory Alpha open so I can refresh myself about specific scenes and behind the scenes stuff to remind myself, and a little notepad that has other stuff in it. But Memory Alpha's article on this episode is fucking tiny.
It's like, so small.
They didn't even want to talk about that shit.
I know.
So.
There's episodes where I bring up Memory Alpha, and it's like I gotta scroll like for like 5 minutes to get to the end. And this one, they're just like, yeah, he dresses up like a woman and has a sex change, and then at the end, he's not.
He doesn't learn anything. Anyway, next episode.
Nobody cares. Yeah, go.
I'm
go to
sorry
the next
about
one.
this short episode, but there will be another episode 2 weeks down the line that'll hopefully have a little bit more meat on it. And if it doesn't, go fuck yourself, I guess.
That's what you get for making us watch this shit.
It is your fault. This is all your fault. You
It's
specifically,
your fucking fault.
The person listening to this right now, it is your fault.
Go buy a shirt to make up for it.
We still have a shirt available as well if you're not a big Trek Boy shirt fan.
With the Latinum on it.
Yeah, which fits into this episode.
For sure.
Anyway.
The slimiest shirt in the galaxy.
They're not really, everybody.
No, I wear every one of them. I get them all slimed up. With my slime.
Gross.
Slime boys.
No.
Oh, skeet, skeet, skeet.
Oh my god. That type of slime?
Every type of slime.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully that won't come up in the next episode.
Oh, skeet, 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 skeet.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sluggo Cola, the slimiest cola in the galaxy.